Hi, my name is Joanna. I'm here to talk to you about sexism and how to be an upstander. Every day you could be walking past people when they're experiencing sexism right under your nose. Either you see it and choose to move on with your day, or you just don't see it at all. But what if you were brave enough to stand up? I want you to imagine yourself working at a hospital, helping your patients, just doing your everyday job as a doctor that saves people's lives. But what if your patients question a male doctor, saying that you can't be one, or they say you must be the nurse? How would that make you feel? Not good, right? I would think that you wouldn't want to go to work anymore because you don't want to hear those people that are discriminating against you when you've helped them to live on and have a happy life and no more pain. This is one act of sexism and stereotyping people. People experience this every day all around the world. Today I hope to change your mind or at least see a different perspective about sexism and how to act when it happens and and I want you to make aware that sexism is actually happening in New Zealand today. I once experienced sexism myself, and let me tell you, you're lucky if you haven't experienced any type of discrimination, because it's horrible when people say hurtful things about you, saying that you can't do this or that because you're a boy, girl, disabled, or because of your race. I hope if you have had any discrimination towards you, that you can push away the hurtful things that they have said to you, because you know deep down it doesn't matter what they think, but they're still going to keep doing it to others and keep doing it to you, which is not right. We need to be upstanders. I will talk a little about that later. So when I was younger, starting my first year at primary school, my brothers had their school interviews. I asked my mum if I could go to the back of the school. We called it the hills because there were huge bumps in the grass. There was also a climbing frame on the far side of the hills, the same one that stands outside in a playground today and the one that's behind me. My mum said yes, but to be careful. I ran to the hills thinking nothing could go wrong. I didn't think anyone else would be there, but there were two boys on the climbing frame. I remember myself heading for the tree on the far side. I saw one of the boys bouncing up and down on the climbing frame. He called down to me and said, "Get out, no girls allowed." I ignored him going onto the tree. He called out again, "No girls allowed, only boys." I ignored him again. Instead of going to the tree, I went down and sat on the hills. He climbed down and started walking towards me. The other boy stayed on the climbing frame. I saw the boy. He had an unfamiliar face, but I could tell he was around my age. He stood right in front of me. He said, "Get out." I remember shaking my head because I knew I could go here. He kicked me and told me to leave. I said no, and I tried to run to the tree, but he grabbed me and shoved me to the ground. It was all a blur to me as I got up, and I could tell he was going to push me again. I remember feeling water build up in the corners of my eyes as I ran to the tree. In my mind, I also remember that I wasn't going to leave because some boy said so. I didn't make it far before he tackled me to the ground again. He told me to leave, but I shook my head. We tossed and turned until I finally broke free. I was running away expecting him to come after me. My mum saw me broken in tears as I told her what had happened. Luckily, the boy got told off. But I'm sure people have suffered worse than me. I don't want anyone else to have this experience. If you have had this experience of any type of discrimination, you know it's hard to forget, no matter what age you are when it happened to you. I wish I could forget what happened. I do sometimes. It doesn't hurt so much now, but it still lingers. I'm wary now where I go, walk, and what I say, as I fear it will happen to me again. What does an upstander mean? Do you even know what an upstander is? Well, today is your lucky day because I get to tell you how to be an upstander and what it is. Being an upstander is really important. It uses lots of courage. Courage is like a muscle, it grows stronger with use. The opposite of an upstander is a bystander. Here is an example of a bystander and an upstander. Say if you were walking to your local supermarket shop and you see someone get kicked out of the shop from one of the staff because of their skin colour and shoved to the ground. Now you either have two choices. Number one, you're going to walk past the person that has been discriminated against for their skin And once you walk past the staff person, you nod in agreement. Or you could choose number 2. You walk quickly to the person that has been shoved and help them up and confront the staff person and tell their boss what this person has done. What would you choose to do? What do you think an upstander is? I hope you chose number 2 for both because number 2 is the upstander. An upstander takes lots of courage to stand up and confront people, especially if they're bigger and more successful than you. You may think it doesn't matter what other people feel, but imagine if it happened to you. Also, an upstander is someone who stands up for what they believe in. Or if when you'll be an upstander, be proud of yourself because you know you've made someone's day. Did you know that there is a gender pay gap in jobs? Although it never really happens, it can occur. Say if a female and a male did the same job and did exactly the same thing, one could be paid more than the other. Sports is differently paid as well. The males will be played more to play than the females by a lot. If they play the same sports, the males will get more money. In tennis, Nick Kyrgios earned $83,650 from winning the Brisbane International. However, Julia Gorgeous was doing a similar competition at the same level in Auckland, and she won, and she only got $43,000. Serena Williams is the top sportswoman in the world to earn so much money. She earned $18.1 million, compared to the top sportsman in the world, Floyd Mayweather, who got $775 million. Now that's a big difference. Also in the news, they never say much about the female games, but always about the male games. For male sportsmen, sports is their job. On the other hand, for female sports players will have another job as well as their chosen sport. How often have you heard female sports in the news? Did you know that just recently on the news that there was an 11-year-old girl that got told she couldn't play rugby for a school tournament because she was a girl? She was playing in a team of boys that she got picked to be in. 5 principals said that she couldn't play. If she did, her team wouldn't be awarded with any points. She pulled out because the principals didn't want her to play. But how sad is that, getting chosen to play for a tournament, then some principals didn't want you to play because you're a girl? Don't you think the principals are being sexist? Because I do. Her dreams are probably crushed because she wasn't allowed to play in the tournament. She can play in a team of girls, but not in a mixed team to be in the tournament. But that's quite bad when they won't allow boys and girls to play together. Thank you for listening to my talk.